Hello everybody and welcome back to Seduce Me. We are now on Andrew's route. We fast forward a lot after we've met the boys. We are going to meet Andrew. Suddenly though, my mom pushed her way through the crowd to me, bringing along someone I didn't know.
Honey, I'd like to introduce you to someone. This kind gentleman is the son of the vice chairman.
With my mom stood a man who looked only a couple of years older than me. He smiled and held out his hand to me, silently asking for my hand.
Hi, I'm Andrew Lewis. It's a pleasure to meet you, Miss Anderson.
As I placed my hand in his, he raised it to his lips and kissed over my knuckles. I felt my face burn slightly at the gesture. Andrew smiled at me before releasing my hand.
I'm honored to be invited here.
My mother smiled at both of us, which made me slightly concerned. Why was she excited to introduce me to Andrew?
So, you organized this party very well, Miss Anderson. You're welcome. Praise is very much deserved.
Andrew then chuckled nervously, bringing a soft fist to his lips to cover his laugh properly before smiling at me.
I'm sorry if I seem a little forward. I've just been excited to meet Harold Anderson's granddaughter.
Huh? Why?
He used to talk about you all the time in the office on how you helped him refine his toys. I only attended meetings and heard all of the stories. You've helped a lot with the success of the company without having to actually work there.
Oh wow, I didn't know he talked about me. That would explain everyone's fascination with me and their rather personal questions. I looked at Andrew, who had a kind face to me. Something about him seemed off, and I didn't know what it was. He seemed to be hiding something. Whether it was good or bad, I wasn't able to find out. I felt someone walk up beside me, causing me to turn to them. Next to me was my dad, giving his cold stare to Andrew, who suddenly became tense.
So, you're Jared's son.
Oh boy. Andrew's body twitched slightly, whether it was fear or insult. Andrew locked eyes with my father. I couldn't help but feel the tension between them. It irked me how fragile the air had become, enough to break at the wrong word.
You're the one who wants to be the next CEO of the Anderson Company.
Well,
I said it, Andrew. This guy wanted to take my grandfather's place as CEO. I thought the vice chairman wanted the position.
David, leave the poor boy alone.
I'm merely testing the boy's conversational skills. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, the look on her face is saying, yeah, there is. You are intimidating him. Stop it.
of course not, sir.
And polite as well. Interesting.
If you'll excuse me.
Great, my father scared him off. Quickly, Andrew retreated away from my family into the crowd of people, but I don't blame him one bit. Follow him. I quickly followed Andrew, wanting to be sure he was alright. I felt a little embarrassed that my dad put him on the spot like that. I had to apologize. We wound up outside, the stars practically dancing on the grass as we stood in the backyard of the mansion. It had been my first time in years being out there, but my thoughts weren't on the nostalgia. Hey, Andrew? Andrew turned to me in surprise. However, his face was completely red in both embarrassment and humiliation. I felt terrible.
Oh, I didn't see you or hear you following. Sorry.
No, it's fine. I should be the one to apologize.
What for? You didn't do anything wrong.
It was my dad that put you on the spot, wasn't it? I mean, from the way my dad behaved, he shouldn't have been so...
Oh, no, it's fine. I mean, I should have expected it and been more prepared.
What? Andrew rubbed the back of his neck and gave a goofy grin. It was intriguing seeing Andrew's professional side and then seeing a goofy smile away from everyone. Still, I'm sorry for that.
It's not a problem, really, but thank you.
We both smiled at each other before I reached my hand out to him. He tilted his head and raised an eyebrow in confusion. Twinkle. My name is Twinkle. In understanding, he smiled, returned before he took my hand gently and shook it.
That's a pretty name. I'm happy to know it now.
You would have learned it earlier if my father hadn't interrupted. Nah, it's not that nice.
I have to disagree with you. It's much better than Andrew. I mean, who names their kid Andrew?
I wonder how many Andrews are going to watch this and end up going, my mom named me Andrew. A lot of people do.
But how about Axel or Ace? Something cool like that.
I could see him being an ace. I can't help but laugh at him. He was pretty chill for a guy who was supposed to be a vice chairman's son. He grinned and laughed along with me. I don't know why, but I felt warm. Whether it was the almost non-existent breeze or the situation we found ourselves in, it felt nice.
Lewis.
Uh-oh. And just like that, the feeling had vanished. We both turned to see my dad at the door of the mansion, staring at Andrew with almost a deadly glare. Andrew straightened up, trying to maintain a business posture.
Yes, sir?
Oh boy.
Your limo is in the front. The driver has requested that you return home. Now.
Wow.
Oh, all right. Thank you, sir.
Jeez. Oh boy. Andrew quickly nudged me before speeding back into the mansion to leave. As I took a step forward, my dad stepped in front of me. Dad?
I don't want to hear it. Do not become friendly with him. He wants to take the company away from us. You have no reason to be friends with him.
Oh my god, really? Before I could retort, my dad turned away and walked back inside, muttering about how the party was nearly at an end. I sighed and entered the house as well, wanting for the party to end immediately. Eventually, only Suzu and Naomi, my parents, and the incubi were left. Oh my god, I don't like that man. Alex and everything, we're gonna go to the grandfather's grave. It was Sunday, and I felt the need to see my grandfather. It has been 3 days since he had been buried, and the cemetery was only a short walk away. I decided to see him. I took my time eating and headed out to the streets to walk towards the cemetery. It was a good half-an-hour walk, but it would be nice, a stroll. A flower shop was on the way, so I could pick up flowers for his grave. I still felt the sting of grief run through my bones, but I knew that it would eventually fade away over time. I paused my journey to the cemetery to enter the flower shop, quickly picking up a bouquet from the back display case and paying. The bouquet of lilies, please. Thank you. With the flowers in hand, I made my way to the large steel gates of St. Joseph's Cemetery. I entered and felt the cold shiver of death run through the air against my skin. Would it always be like this? The cemetery was the final resting place. It wasn't just for mourning or sadness. It was supposed to be a place for remembrance. I sighed as I walked through the cemetery towards my grandfather's grave. Before I could reach it, though, I noticed a figure standing by the slab. Who's that? I stopped walking and tried to focus my sight to see who was standing at my grandfather's grave before I approached. I didn't want to interrupt a prayer or anything, but even more, I wanted to know who exactly was there. My mind barely considered the idea that it was my father, but it couldn't have been him. Familiar brown hair crowned this person's head instead of black and grey my father had. He was vaguely familiar. Andrew? It was indeed Andrew. He was dressed in his casual clothes, but he was giving respect to my grandfather. I was curious as to why. I quietly stepped closer and approached Andrew on the grave, being careful to not scare Andrew. At my footsteps, Andrew turned to see me and realized it was me, turning fully to me.
Oh, Miss Anderson. I'm sorry. I'll just...
Andrew quickly shook his head and took a step to leave. I stopped him with a hand and smiled. He was merely paying his respects. There was no need for me to intrude. Andrew stared at me before smiling and nodded, returning to his place in front of the grave. He took a side step to make room for me, so I stepped next to him. I looked to the grave, running my gaze through the engravings in the stone slabs before gently laying my bouquet down by it. However, I didn't stand back up. I gently sat down on the grass in front of the grave and stared at it.
Lilies?
Common flowers for gravestones, yeah? My grandfather didn't have a favourite flower. I hooed and felt Andrew gently crouch down and sit beside me. I turned my head to look at him, catching him nodding in acknowledgement to my statement. I turned back to the grave, letting out a small sigh. So, can I ask why you came here?
I came to pay my respects. He was someone I really idolized.
I I turned my head to him again, confused. Idolized?
Mm-hmm. He inspired me to work hard and make people happy. When I interned for his company, he was the first person to greet me at the doors with open arms, even before my father.
Really? Even before your dad? Wait, do you and your dad get on? 'Cause I mean, our main character and her dad do not get on. I almost couldn't believe what I was hearing. However, the look in Andrew's eyes made my heart break. He truly idolized my grandfather like he was his own grandfather.
Your grandfather was an amazing man, but I'm sure I don't have to tell you that. He treated me better than my dad ever could. All my dad cares about is me becoming the CEO. But Harold Anderson? No.
Wow. Wow. That's funny. Our main character's got that same problem. I could probably feel my lips move in sync with Andrew as he continued to speak, almost hear my grandfather speaking alongside him in the air.
He said, "Don't worry about it so much. You have plenty of time to decide. Besides, you should do what makes you happy instead."
I don't suppose you're hearing like a Jiminy Cricket grandfather or seen him anywhere. Let me know if you do. He said that to me too. Andrew turned to me in surprise before smiling.
Really? He cared a lot about you. There were days that he wouldn't stop talking about you and compared you to me.
I felt a blush run across my face. What things did he say?
Well, he told me how cute you were and how you loved to make people happy. He also said you always had the perfect ideas for his toys.
I felt a smile grow on my face, remembering the small moments when I had helped him design his now most popular toy, the glowing heart bear. I didn't realize how proud of me he was because I was so small, but now that I'm older, I am able to understand. He always had me help him, even when I didn't feel like I could. He was the greatest person ever in my life. He treated me better than my dad.
How does your dad treat you?
He's pretty harsh to me. He wants me to be the CEO of the company as well, since it's technically a family business.
He's strict, like my dad. Well, if it ever came to a time where the board had to decide a CEO, I'd gladly give it up for you.
I couldn't help but raise an eyebrow. Didn't he want the position? Why don't you want to be CEO? To my surprise, Andrew shook his head with a goofy smile.
I don't. My dad wants me to take over the Anderson company, but I really am not sure if I want to or not. Sure, making toys is great and helping people is something I want to do, but I don't know if I want to head the company.
You're not sure you want to do, just like me.
You don't want to be a CEO either?
Well, the company's gonna... How's the company gonna cope if neither of you two want to be CEO? I shook my head. Andrew let a small laugh.
Man, we must be the worst kids on the planet. Our dads want us to take over a company, but we don't even want to. Imagine what would happen if they actually liked each other.
I couldn't help but laugh with him. We were in the same boat, yet we were on the opposite side. It was like Romeo versus Juliet, two families competing for one goal, but the competitors didn't want to even try to reach that goal. Andrew gently stopped laughing and smiled at me.
Your grandfather was right about one thing, though. You are really cute.
The blush that had faded from my face suddenly returned at his words. I looked away from him, making him laugh again.
Sorry, it's true. Cross my heart.
Thanks. He was flattering me. I had to admit he was cute too, but I had only known him for a short while. It wasn't realistic to like him more than that, right? Andrew cleared his throat and started up straight, rubbing the back of his neck.
I'll let you have some time with your grandfather. I don't have anywhere to be, so I'll wait by the gates and give you a ride home when you're done.
Thank you. It was very sweet of him to wait for me, so I accepted his ride home. Andrew smiled before heading back to the gates. I remained with my grandfather. I'm sure you're laughing where you are, Grandpa.